over this weekend, I had the pleasure of watching the Breakfast Club interview, and I got put onto this late, and it was off of like people were saying that, oh man, Charlamagne got washed or whatever in this debate with Larry Elder and everything. For those of y'all that don't know, Charlamagne, prominent Breakfast Club host, past 10 years, Radio Hall of Fame, pretty important guy in the culture. And Larry Elder, respectfully, in his culture, I'm assuming pretty important guy. Yeah, I'm assuming pretty respectful guy. And he running for president under the Republican umbrella. I think he even said that he's a MAGA guy. I want to give him all the credit that he said that he is and everything, like he running under MAGA or whatever type thing. But I just think that's a Republican thing or whatever. Or he probably do agree with Trump policies. He actually said that. No, he agreed with Trump policies and all of that. And it's for black people, and he had all these facts and everything and all this stuff, this data to back him up, and he was just killing them at the Breakfast Club.
I wish you would have told me about this video so I could have watched this, because I haven't watched this interview, so I don't got like the full context, because I think the interview was like an hour.
Yeah.
You can't do that. But I wish I would have saw this whole interview, because we'll get into that as we hear. Yeah. Let me hear what he said, because I haven't heard it. So
right now, this is just a piece of it that everybody pulling from, and this is the piece that I seen that made me want to watch the whole interview and see what this guy Larry is talking about. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, I didn't hear about him until he got to the Breakfast Club, which is, I guess how I'm sure I'm not the only one. I'm sure I'm not the only one that's not into politics and didn't hear him speak until he came into a medium that I'm used to. And he really did, let's just say, make some points were made.
Term wake-up call?
No.
It is an incident where a person of color forgets that they are of color and are reminded rather brutally by an unexpected act of racism.
Well, I'm acutely aware, Charlamagne, that I'm a black person, just as you are a black person. And when Joe Biden insulted you by saying, you ain't really black, we don't know whether or not you want to vote for me or vote for Donald Trump, it seems to me that should have been a wake-up call on your part. How dare this guy come in here and insult you, a black man, and tell you got to think a certain kind of way?
What I did say.
Well, you just not talk about a wake-up call, and it seemed to me that should have been a wake-up call on your part to have a white guy come in here who also said, by the way, about Mitt Romney, because he didn't want to put more regulations on Wall Street, going to put y'all back in chains. And he came in here and told you aren't even black and let you think a certain kind of way. It seemed to me that should have been a wake-up call for you, but it wasn't, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want you to stop it.
Nah, that was the end of it anyway.
Okay.
That was it.
I was saying mute that so it don't interrupt the thing. I ain't want that.
Oh, no, you good. You good. It's fine. But
no, I want to make sure everybody hear what he was saying. But,
oh, yeah.
okay.
Nah, he was...
Can I edit all that out so we can just get back?
He definitely was making points, and he made more points throughout the whole interview. Like I say, this what made me want to go watch it. It was stuff in there, like they had Teslin Figaro, very respectful, very knowledgeable woman. She been on the show. She always do the news now or whatever for the Breakfast Club.
Oh, that's who that is?
That's who that is.
Okay.
So when they have political people on, because that's her field, they usually bring her on too through Zoom. And they had her on through the interview, and she was just challenging him a lot in ways that didn't need to be a challenge, and was also just doing, you could just tell, you ever know when you arguing with somebody and you could just tell they don't like you, and that energy starts coming out in the little things that they do and the tactics they doing.
Absolutely.
It'll be stuff like he said something earlier, and he was talking to them, making a point. I forget what the point was about, so I'm not going to misquote him, but he basically brought up Tupac, and he said, yeah, Tupac Shakur, and that was kind of the first time he slipped or messed up or whatever, or at least made it look like that, because I'm also not researching, so they both pulling from things, and you can find anything to support your argument on the internet these days, fair enough, but, so I don't want to make it seem like he was just spitting facts that I know for sure are fact. He made it seem like he had a lot more data than they had, and he had data to support what he believed. With that being said, he made some statistic, and he brought up the point of Tupac, and he said Tupac Shakur, and Charlamagne couldn't wait to say Tupac. You said Tupac, you mean? And he was like, my bad, Tupac or whatever. So then later on in the interview, Charlamagne couldn't pronounce the word onus. And he was like, is it honest, onus or whatever? And then he was like, onus, and then he was like, cool. And then he said, Yeah, see, that's just, I'm making up for you. I messed up Tupac earlier. You messed up Onis. Now we even. And then soon as he said that, here comes Tez. You are very petty, mister. Oh, da-da-da. I was like, what? So it was cool when he do it. It's a problem when he do it. All right.
People, as a person that people have, gave me the name King Petty, I don't think I'm petty. I think in most cases I am very logical and I'm very calm. And then when people keep pushing me, I do things that somehow people call petty. To really be petty, you have to purposely be petty. A man showing love like that, he's basically just telling you, yo, bro, we supposed to have each other. I messed up, you had me. I messed up, you got me. Together, we got each other. That's all that man was trying to say.
You took it real deep. I was like, nah, he was being petty, but Charlamagne was being petty first. I'm being petty back.
I don't even think he was petty back. Now, I'm going to tell you, if it was petty, he would have corrected him and then said nothing else. That's when you being petty, because you basically saying nah, you take that L, nigga, and you ain't gonna say shit. See, now that's what I would have did. And people tell me I'm petty. I don't think I be being petty. But the pettiness, and you ain't even gonna get no explanation.
You might not be petty then, because my pettiness is exactly what he did. Because I'd have definitely been actually honest. And you messed up that, and I messed up Tupac. And I'd have been more petty, because I'd have been and it shows. If you just look at both of us, it shows. It shows why you would know Tupac and not know Onis, and I would not know Tupac and know Onis.
That would be petty. That's me. You ain't even got to mention that he fucked up. If you would have said that would have been petty. The word is Onis, right. And the reason that I know that and you know the correct way to say Tupac is the difference between us. Boom. You would have been petty as fuck. You ain't even have to do it. Tell you. King
that's thing right there.
Petty.
Vote for me for president. All right, I'm better than you.
Boom. That's being petty. You know what I'm saying? That's petty. That's what I'm talking. That's not even yo, he got my vote.
Man,
he got my vote, baby.
He was just making a lot of points. One of his main points was taking families, and they couldn't dispute this because nobody gonna dispute this. When the government, let's not put a race on it, even though we know what race and what system. That was another point Breakfast Club was trying to make, that he didn't want to say it's a system or all of this, and they was. I'll get into that after. Remind me about system but anyway. The government definitely did. I go to my next point because I forget that. Look, it was a part where they was talking about the racism and all of that and the system.
This
part
of the episode is brought to y'all by really very good things in our cups.
It definitely
and it is starting to cause effects that you can see the.
I can remember this one though. The part about the racism and stuff and the system and everything. It was a lot of focus from the Breakfast Club on them trying to just get him to admit that, yes, it was racism. Oh, I do remember the other point. It was fathers in the home. I'm going to get back to that. Yes, it is a point of racism, and racism exists, and it's systematic racism, and it's a system and everything. And they was just so focused on getting him to just admit that. So you do admit that it's a system that's available. So you do admit that it's racism that happens. So you do admit, and he never was no, it's no racism and none of that. But what he was saying was, and this kind of tie in with the father stuff, that all of that happened and was easy to happen in the breakdown of the family and the structure and everything when they took the father out the home, when they came door to door and said, take welfare, marry the state instead of marrying your husband. When it was a time back in the day when, it probably was, poverty line was this much or whatever, but then 40 years, 20 years came around and that dropped significantly when dads was in the home. And that stopped when dads got taken out of the home. And the other proof of that he was saying was that this happens in white families too. White families is growing up now 20% not having a dad in the home because of all of this.
Hey, hold on. Wait a minute. Tyler, I just had another one of the moments. I'm sure you probably going to see it in the playback. When now this was episodes, this has been since we started this podcast. When I talk about how important a black man is and how we don't get the respect we deserve, bro, we need to start showing us some appreciation too. Shout out to the ladies for sure, but bro, we are important. I literally made that same point like 30, 40 episodes ago.
but
I'm saying if he had his number statistics and everything he needed to make you see that point, shout out to what's his name, Larry Elder. You know what I'm saying? But that is what I be talking about.
Out of California, I believe he tried to run for governor of California.
But no, that's what
a lot of people wanted him too.
That's what I be talking about as far as like how important it is for black men to not only take care of their kids and be there, but also for those kids to see us grow. They need to see us grow. The kids need to see the transformation of my daddy here to my daddy there. All of them things matter. You know what I'm saying? And like you say, it showed when black men was out the household and it was all the single mothers doing that. Everything I feel like shows now. We in a generation where all of them things show. So like I really want to get back to it. Do be in families. Like, bro, you can't be out here with 7 baby mamas and like, you know, like, come on, bro. Like you can't be a father to 7 kids, bro. It's a 7 different baby mamas. That's a hard sell, bro.
He was just really harping on that, and like you right about that. Just making like with the dads being in the home and that structure and everything, and he was like, you this much more likely to go to jail and da-da-da and all of that. And then he made that point about not having a dad and your likelihood to go to jail. That's when Charlamagne comes, Trump and them, they finna go to jail, and they had dads. What do you explain that? It's like, well, some people are just criminals, Some people are criminals.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that if you have a dad, you're never going to go to jail, and I'm not saying if you don't have a dad, you're not going, you know what I'm saying? I mean, you are going to go to jail.
I say it all the time on this podcast. I'm always talking to 51%. You know what I'm saying? It's certain things that ain't even 51%. It'll be like 90%, and you have 10% people will be like, but it's some people like, bro, it's always some people that do something.
Yeah.
If the overriding majority is this, that's what we discussing. You know what I'm saying? And we know for a fact it is an overwhelming difference with a father in the home and a father not in the home when it comes to us being incarcerated, when it comes to us just getting a case in general. It's a lot of. That's why I be trying to be like. I want to be the cool regular dude, bro. I don't want to be the street. I don't want to be none of that. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, we all should appreciate a regular black man like we appreciate somebody popping bottles and throwing money.
Yeah.
To be black should be appreciated.
I say regular meaning that just because he not popping bottles and none of that don't mean that he couldn't be if he wanted to.
Regular like you don't know regular. Everyday black man.
He could have a 401k. He could be dope. All of that.
He don't want to pop bottles. He's just a regular dude. He don't want to do all that. He want to go to work, take care of his family, teach his kids, drop his kids off at school. The regular dude. He should be appreciated. He don't gotta want to pop bottles. That ain't his. He ain't worried about that. He care about his family. Them dudes should get love too. And that's what I'm saying. I just want to see more celebration of that in the culture. We don't really get it nowhere. It ain't in our movies like that. It ain't in our TV shows. Like, I was watching the show with Idris, Hijack.
Yeah.
And it's like, man, he trying to get back to his family. Like, I can dig something like that. He trying to, finesse his way out the situation. I like seeing a father trying to get back to his kids and, like, man, can we get more of that? I just want to see more. I mean, that wasn't regular. He did stop a whole hijack.
It wasn't regular at all.
But it was a little irregular. But just saying.
But I know what you mean.
That's like the last good thing I've seen on TV. The concept
of a dude. But the thing that I didn't like about it, if we going to bring it to that point, the family was still broken. And she left him for a white man.
I seen that. I was
why
you have to bring it up, Greg?
Looking like an African statue. But anyway.
It was a decent show, but I didn't like the end. I ain't gonna lie, I ain't like the ending.
I don't remember if I seen the end. I gotta watch the end of Average Joe tonight, but that's a whole different thing.
That show is fire. I just started watching it last week.
I think I told you about it, but it's
cool.
You
did you tell me about it?
I'm
you
sure
might have told me,
but it's fine. We don't need to.
It's gonna take you. I'm not trying to take you. If you petty, you can go to the episode and you gonna send me a clip of it. Like, here you go, bro. Because that's what I do. Like, you saying I ain't say that? All right, boom, bad. I put it right in our group chat. Yeah, bad. There you go, right there. Yeah, boom.
Nah, I ain't that petty, man. I ain't that petty.
I am.
But nah, man. I don't know. It's just watching that, man. Like I say, with Larry Elder thing, it had a bunch of facts I didn't know nothing about him, and the way that he was talking, I'm gonna listen to him some more. And I ain't never voted Republican in my life, but a black Republican, he might get me if he a black Republican and he make it to.
Okay, so
to
I got
spot.
a question. That's a good thing, Craig. Okay, so I'll say this before I even ask you the question. Me personally, I tell people I am not a Democrat. I am not a Republican.
Yeah.
I am a situational voter. I don't vote for anybody just because you're a part of a party. I vote for you know what I'm saying? I vote for any. I done wrote in candidates. You know what I'm saying? Just because I'm gonna vote, but I ain't voting for none of y'all because I don't believe what none of y'all talking about. So I'm gonna vote for this person.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like people shouldn't really have a problem expressing whatever their views is, but nowadays you cannot be doing that. You'll get judged. Would you feel judged if you was to potentially vote for this guy as a Republican? If people said, "Hey, Craig, who you vote for?" Would you be ashamed to say, "I voted for this person"? You know what I'm saying? Versus if it was Obama, you ain't never gonna feel ashamed. But if this was Larry Elder's a Republican candidate, would you feel?
Easy one for me. This is super easy for me. First of all, I answer your question. Nah, I ain't gonna feel bad at all because it's still a black man, and I'm sure the other guy gonna be white. You ain't gonna do. You finna tell me 4 years removed, 8 years removed, you finna find another black Democrat that you qualified to run. You know how long it took them to get Obama? How long it took them to buffer the colors out of them, get them just light enough to get on that podium. Just light enough to get on that podium.
You said they buffered the. Whoa.
You know how long that took? You can't do that in 8 years. You gotta build one of them up. So nah, man. If we got another black dude, he gonna run against another white dude. I'm never gonna feel bad about voting for the black dude over the white guy. So I won't feel. So I won't feel bad about voting for Larry Elder if he gets the Republican nomination and he keep making sense. And I agree with him. I will end up voting for him probably as the black guy. Also, it was one thing that I kind of got scared for him. He did bring up the, when you don't really want to have a kid. He did bring that up, that huge policy that everybody talking about. And while he does think that that's not right and all of that and Bible and everything, I think what his point was, and if I'm wrong, correct me in the comments, but if the interview I heard correctly, he was like, yeah, I might not agree with that, but that's a state thing. The state would decide that. So he not going to be a dude that's like, hey, I'm up here, everybody, nah, y'all decide that. If y'all vote that, the people want that, blah, blah, blah. If that's how you really feel, if that's what I believe, yeah. But I'm not going to, the state decides, y'all vote that, y'all figure that out statewide.
I'm gonna have to watch this interview. Because that's something, too, that I'm going to say, me personally, I fail at, right? I never care about the local politics. Like, I'll watch all the national stuff. I keep up with what's going on. You know what I'm saying? But, like, locally, I really don't. Which I really should get more into it. Like, I know people that is into it, and they be like, yo, you need to vote for this person. And then I'm like, okay, I'll look into it. But, like, I don't really care. But it is very important to know what's going on locally with your politics as well, because that's really what's going to affect you. It's really more important. That's what's going to affect your day-to-day more than what's going on nationally. And even me, I fail at it. So
tell me about the goddamn affecting your day-to-day. Express lane, green all day, just nice. As soon as they opened it, green. Oh, extra lanes just all day. We need this in Madison. Great. A goddamn vote happened, and some damn idiots voted, didn't even let us know what they was voting on. I didn't see a campaign for the express lanes.
Oh, that's why it's been red?
That's why it's been red.
Oh, we ain't supposed to do it no more?
Bruh, some idiots voted for the times. So they voted for one side to be on at one time, one side at another time, this and that. So that's now when I'm going to work at 6 and 7 in the morning.
Example why I need to improve my local politics. Because I sure been like, why is this lane never open anymore? See, this is a perfect example, bro.
A cop pulled me over because I'm used to riding that, right? So I'm like, this car in front, this man, get over, dip over. I didn't see the cop behind me. He pulled me over. He was cool as hell, though. He was cool as hell. All my stuff was good and everything. My license was expired, but I needed to get it renewed. So, but it wasn't suspended or nothing. It was just expired. He let me know that. I didn't know that. It was just happened that month. He was cool as hell. Just let me, hey, I ain't gonna give you no speeding ticket, no crossing to nothing. It's a warning. I got to do something about the license because I ran it. It's on my job. But go there, they gonna throw it out. It ain't even nothing. As soon as you get it renewed, it's fine. So he was a cool guy. And that's who told me, because he understood. He was like, I don't know either, man. I don't get it either. I don't understand why. But this is why. Because, a vote happened. Example. Now it's at this times. People thought it would be better for traffic if it said this. And I'm like, all right, man. So that's why that changed, and that's why you should pay attention to your local politics.
The traffic got crazy all of a sudden. I'm like, why is there so much traffic, and why is the lane? I was thinking this, and that makes sense, man.
Yeah, bro, I'm telling you. So vote in your local politics, and Larry Elder, do something about the express lanes in Madison, Wisconsin when you get president.
He don't care. He just told you he don't care. Like, man, that's up to them local man. I ain't got nothing to do
I know,
with that.
right? I got nothing to do with state
Y'all
stuff.
follow some of y'all local politics, y'all wouldn't have that problem.
That's what's wrong with you black folks out there anyway. Or you black Democrats.
If he's a black Republican, you would know about your local politics. Nah, but shout out to him.
Watch that interview. I encourage people to go watch that interview. Yeah, I'm just looking forward to hearing them speak more because the Democrats is slacking, if you ask me, on the political side right now. If y'all enjoyed that last video, man, make sure that y'all subscribe, hit the like, and make sure y'all comment and let us know what y'all think about any future videos that y'all might see popping up around here. I've been Craig Smith, a.k.a. Sunset Life.
It's your boy Queese, a.k.a. Dash. Hit the like button, follow, put somebody on who'll put somebody on. And we out. Thistle.